Peace, everybody. How y'all doing out there? Know what I'm talking about? Peace, peace, peace. Hey, pieces, Tracy. You the first one here. Obvious. Yeah, you on the ball today. That's what's up. You know what I'm talking about? Peace. How you doing? Hey, peace. Pieces. Shit was good with you. Thank you. Thank you as always, for sure. I sure do appreciate it. You know what I'm talking about? Greens, brother NY. How you doing? Let me bring this up. Pieces, Manir. How you doing? But yeah. Give thanks, everybody. For sure. Peace, brother Zay. How you doing, bro? You know what I'm talking about. You know. For sure, man. You know, we gonna get it in, you know what I'm talking about? You know. Already, you know. Peace, brother Cruz. How you doing? Was good with you? Oh, moving cool. Moving the song. I knew that sound familiar. Yeah, out a while. Yeah, with Paula Patton. Okay, let me stop reminiscing. The opening act. All right. So anyway, let's get into this. Yeah, I like that movie only for wrong reasons. So yeah. Anyway, no, actually two reasons. Um, time period, and the other reason is self-explanatory. So yeah, but so we gonna get into it. You know what I'm talking about? Pieces, Deirdre. Okay, today we are talking about A Brave New World. This is actually a book by Aldous Huxley. It was written in 1931, published in 1932. Now, there have been many different versions. Well, TV movie, made for TV movies of this book. The one we're doing today is the 1981. There was one in 98. It used to show up on Sci-Fi, but it was trash. And then this year, they came out with a TV series on Peacock, but it got canceled. So, and I wasn't spending no money to, get it and whatnot. Peace, precious mom. Oh, Precious. My name is Precious. My name is Precious. Every time I see, honestly, every time Ian Precious show up, that's what I want to say. My name is Precious. Peace, Mahavari Johnson. Peace with you. But anyway, back to the topic. So the one we're doing is 1980, and it's the best one out of all of them, if you ask me. Peace, Gypsy Gray. How you doing? And peace, Janisha. I hope I'm saying your name right. But yeah, but this one was made in 1980. It actually had Ron O'Neal and what's the other actor? Dick Anthony Williams. If you know who Ron O'Neal is, he was Superfly. I didn't know this was Ron O'Neal because he's more darker in the 1980 80 film. And Ron O'Neal was light bright, but he was real. He was brown in this one, so I didn't know. I didn't even know it was him till I looked it up and was like, he was in this. Oh, he was in this the whole time. So thank you, Sister Kashia, already. But yeah, Ron O'Neal's in it. So Superfly, he gave a good performance, man. But we can go on with Superfly and Curtis Mayfield giving a masterpiece of a soundtrack for a movie. I mean, but that's neither here nor there. So, at the start of Peace Sister Moksha, at the start of the film, we got basically one of the lead characters, Thomas. He's talking about he's trying to get to the hatchery, central hatchery, because that's where he works at, and he's having a problem getting there, and he's like talking about these gammas, and because they messing up his day or whatever, they messing up, he's trying to get to where he needs to go, and they messing it up for him. And but one thing that you could say is that the gamma say, we're not too stupid, we're not too and not too bright. To be a gamma is to be all right. So you have in this film different rankings, and it goes from alpha to epsilon. And they're all Greek letters. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, say the eta. I pretty much know my Greek alphabet. My Baba used to always put an emphasis, say delta. Make sure you say delta. So I always said delta. Don't say delta, but delta. But yeah. And then when he gets to the central hatchery, he talks to this beta minus named Linda Lysenko. And he's talking about a date with her, and she tells him about the other guys that asked her out, that wanted to take her out to other things and whatnot. Yeah, brother Zach. There's many catchy slogans. Because every ranking got pretty much a slogan. That's one thing you take from this movie. Which in this society, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You put this up with 1984 and all the other ones, but like I say, and as she talks with Thomas, she tells him, something goes wrong, and she says something that's supposed to go click click when clack clack, but she wouldn't know because she just a beta, which you can take at least from the beta females is that they're cute, but they're ditzy as all hell. It's like I said, it's like some chicks that we know from a certain region of the country. They cute as all hell, but they got the stereotype of being ditzy as all hell. Ain't that right, brothers? But yeah, and one thing also about where they're at is they have artificial sunrise and artificial sunsets. And after he get she says, well, if you get the okay to go to the Savage Reservations, because that's what he's trying to take her at, she'll go with him. She'll free up her schedule and whatnot. But after that scene, we go to basically like a museum type scene where there's an announcer speaking and saying all for more means more for all. If it can be made, it can be used, and if it can be used, it can be made. History is bunk. Half the time equals double the yield, and war is bad for business. And this is basically off of Henry Ford and the Model T. That's what you got to take from this as well. And I shouldn't have to tell you who Henry Ford is, the maker of the Model T, and also General Assembly. Shoot, when I was a kid, I actually went to the Ford mansion in Detroit, and it was interesting, very old mansion, but yeah, was that a way to show a man's power, in a sense, to take a woman to the seven? Actually, I would not say that, brother Zach, because it was not a way to show a man's power. It was just a way to take a chick out and um get you know get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing you could take from this. No, everyone wasn't allowed to go there, but because it was special, she wanted to go because nobody had, you had to get security clearance to go to the Savage Reservation, and if he could do it, well, shoot, them panties was coming off. They were gonna come off anyway, but hey, they were really gonna come off at the Savage Reservation. And so after that scene, we have the Alpha graduation or commencement, and one thing that they said at this graduation, belief without knowing, to know without believing, which I thought was interesting. And then you see basically the values of the religion of the Model T, and this is where you first see Ron O'Neal, and his character Mustafa Ahmad, and the values of this religion is community, identity, and stability. And then they talk about like more wants for more things, a lot of consumerism in this film, and you can take that to today, you know what I'm saying? Which is interesting that the model was basically the Ford plant, General Assembly, and the Model T, whereas today it will probably be Toyota, you know what I'm saying, and how they run things. I remember, in the segment when she was talking about you want to understand or want to learn how to manage a homestead, read The Toyota Way. And there's been many books after that one, but yeah, but it will be Toyota, it will be Amazon, Google, whatever business model that you can apply as a culture, you can use that, and make that into a brave new world. You know what I'm talking about? We want what we have, and we have what we want. Yeah, yes, Sister Desiree, you're definitely right. Yeah, you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. No, you don't. So Mustafa Ahmad, which he's called, his Ford ship. With he's at the top. He's basically the leader, if you ask me. And he's given the speech, and you see his ranking as Alpha Plus. It seems like with the betas and alphas, it goes from in three groups, three subgroups: beta minus, beta, and then beta plus, and then you have maybe alpha and then alpha plus. Because I didn't see no alpha minuses because I was looking. And then he says, what does it matter to know what things were like when it wasn't perfect? And this is where it goes to basically why history is bunk. And then he talks about poverty, violence, and senility, which with each of, the values, that go under, community, identity, and stability, like, in community, was talking about how, they people had these resources, but because they didn't basically regulate birth population or whatever, you had basically starvation and all that things, and and then it went into violence, and because people wanted certain things or whatever, people became violent, and they show pictures, of certain things like the war, World War One, and the I guess the problems in Somalia. This is before I was born, but the only thing I can think of, We Are the World, and they were, doing all that, the starving children in Africa and whatnot. But yeah, and then you have family, family and bonding and pair bonding is a sexual perversion, in this society. And as they watching the screen, these new alphas are watching the screen, they're cringing and like, they see family and women pregnant and be like, and you got some like women actually did that, like, yeah, of course, Now, mind you, because they're alphas, they're privy to certain information. They're privy to this information. Betas on down the epsilon, they're not. But because they're alphas, they're privy to this information. So they're seeing all this and shocked, and be like, ugh, they look like they about to be queasy and whatnot. And then Mustafa's like, okay, let's take a summer break. And that's the main drug of this movie and the book, Soma. It's like acid or whatever drug you want to compare it to. You know what I'm saying? What thing, that was interesting about it is the acting is good in this movie. And so when they do this, you really can see the good work of an actor, especially when Ronald Will, he's like, okay, yeah, I know, it's just it's painful. It's painful. I know. Let's all just have a summer break. These are monotone, drone people, but you can see the subtlety in their acting. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, brother, that 2A balls. It's you connect one to their coping mechanisms. Take that away, and you have to lean on the Alpha Plus. Right. Someone gets rid of the gym jams. Yeah. those the senses, locks the emotions and keeps them in cycles. Yeah. And that's intentional. And so, one another basically slogan, and it's for alphas, is they are supremely happy and supremely content. You know what I'm saying? Which says something about them. You know what I'm saying? Which is real. If you look at it, it's real fake. They're supremely happy all the time, and they're content. Maybe because they are at the top. So they content because they don't have nothing to worry about. Then we go into like things like computer cloned, which they use because there's a different way on how children are born in this society. Another slogan that we have is happiness for all, is happiness for each. Then you have different courses. One was Plan Perfection. That was a conditioning course. And so another segment that we have is we see, Mustafa and Helmholtz, which is Dick Anthony Williams' character. They're talking about a jingle that he just created. Peace Chief. And they're going over it so he can get approval for it. And so Mustafa's like, oh, this was good. He's like, what you think about it? And he's like, oh, this is wonderful. This was good, but we're gonna have to delete it. And he was like, well, I don't Helmholtz was like, I don't understand why we have to do all of that, and he said one thing. He says, Recent implies past, improvement implies progress. You know, as you can see, you see the philosophical in what Ron O'Neal was saying, because he puts it off, with his acting perfectly. You know, and he also says, if the president is perfect, then there can be no progress, because that was the issue with what they call jingles of Phillies, that Helmholtz is working about. Saying, and he's providing the answer for him, because he's like, well, I followed all the directives, and the basically the controlled, what would you say, viewing, tested positive. Yeah, of course, because they'll be, and Mustafa's like, of course, because they'll agree with anything. But he said another key thing was this video or jingle or feeling makes a person ask why. And how, why is a dangerous word, because it involves purpose. That's a, now you can see what was taken out of this culture. Purpose was taken out of this culture. The people, you can't have purpose in this in this society. Yeah, I can't have one question anything or ask the question why, right? But it's just not asking the question why. It's also asking the why in yourself. Because like I said, it involves purpose. So if I ask, it's basically like that saying, I think therefore I am. That that was taken out. One thing you could take from all of this is that these people don't think for themselves. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into that, because that's gonna be later down the line. Yeah, why you do the things that you do. Yeah. And so as he's talking to Helmholtz, and he's saying, oh, this is perfect work, but we gotta delete it, and then you'll be able to do something new again. You know what I'm saying? And then he gives the slogan, don't delay, consume today, use it up and throw it away. Remember your sleep talk. That's what he says. And he also says, how old are you? And Dick Anthony Williams says, I'm 27. He's like, oh, well, I'm 50. When I was your age, I was radical and had all these different ideas as well, but so I understand. But so after all of that, Thomas gets approval to go to the Savage Reservation. But one thing I found interesting in that is they talk about the Quakerites being driven into the Yukon. And if you can remember what a Quakerite is, a Quaker, I found that interesting, because it's sort of synonymous with Mormon. If it was today, the Quaker would be a Mormon probably, and they are already in Utah, so driven into the Yukon, but yeah. One thing you have with this society is they have emotional re-engineering institutes as well. You know what I'm saying? It's so many different types of systems in this. It's communism. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But after Thomas gets his approval, Mustafa talks with a female alpha, and says, after he comes back for this, he's basically going to be able to get one more promotion, and then he's probably going to be done. And they go over his basically his mannerisms. He says he's pompous, and self-serving. he has great managerial potential. And then the female F was like, but he's so dull. He's like, exactly, perfect managerial potential. You know, being dull gives the ability to think rigidly and fluidly. You know, that's why like I said, enjoy the acting. I enjoy the acting because Rod O'Dell was giving it, bro. But yeah, it's of the assembly line, which is basically, you know, I know as, you know, basically General Assembly, but yeah, the assembly line, you know, or the plant. And if you know who came up with the plant, you know, because it wasn't here before, but it was somebody from Tuskegee. You know, somebody from Tuskegee. You know, some guy from Tuskegee that like peanuts. But yeah, and then you see the hatcheries basically system in How to Make a Soldier. Well, I wouldn't say that, brother Zach, because this is not how to make a soldier, because you don't see soldiers in this film. You know what I'm saying? But this is basically how to make a human robot. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, it's basically how to make a human robot, a human drone, without them being robots. But you see the hatchery system. And one thing they talk about is, you know, basically from gamma to epsilon, they're pretty much mass produced. But with alpha and beta, the production is, you know, one egg, one bag. You know, they and this is the similarity between A Brave New World and The Matrix, where The Matrix people were grown. In A Brave New World, they're manufactured, and they're manufactured like on an assembly line, you know, which was very interesting, you know. So and then everybody had basically famous last names or whatever. Like Thomas's name was Thomas Graham Bell. You know, you had Adolph Rockefeller. You had some Rockefellers in this, some Rothschilds. You another character you're going to meet later on, Disney. You know, Trotsky. If you know your history, you know who these people. Benito. You know, if you know who these people are, Marx, you know. So if you know who these people are, I don't have to tell you. You know, just go down the line. You know, to GWC. What's GWC, Sister Deirdre? Connection to GWC. It's the portrayal of his foreship, a melanated man, because of the connection to GWC. What's GWC? Tell me what GWC is, and I'll be able to answer you quickly. Oh, got you, Carl. I would say no. I would say it's to basically have a disguise of the society that it's all equal. You know, it's culturally acceptance. You see what I'm saying? So of course there's his foreship is a melanated man, because the society is all inclusive. You know, there's probably gender fluidity. You know, it'll be gender, you know, fluidity, you know, maybe gentrification, whatever you want, all these new terms. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not because it wasn't because of George Washington Carver. It was to show, if yet, you know, in my opinion, it was to show that there was no racism. Therefore, because there was no racism, or racism was one of the things that went wrong in the ancient society, as they call it. You know, it's to show that, we're better than what we were in the past. We there's a black man leading, and nobody nobody really cares. There's a black man leading. So we're no longer racist. We don't allow that in our society. So yeah, that's my opinion. And so another thing you see is Linda and her friend. They're going take a shower or bath, and they're doing it like conveyor belt, like you would a machine. They going through each stages, and they're just talking. And one thing that Linda says is that she wished she was a noodle-free model. You know what I'm saying? These people look at themselves like they're models, like a manufacturer model. Your beta, your classification is your manufacturer model, pretty much. And so she says, I wish I was a noodle-free model, because they can have sex, or engage. Engage is what they use for sex. They can engage anyone and not have to worry about getting pregnant, because they have to have these rotary foam dowels that basically gives them like birth control, and Linda is scatterbrained as hell, because she don't know how to set it. So her friend teaches her, and she says a day plus one equals none. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell that one thing that's in the society is eugenics, and one thing you also know that there are things that are seen as demonology, and nature is one of them. Yeah, people will talk. Yeah, exactly. People will talk about you if you are not promiscuous, because being monogamous is basically seen as demonology, because that involves family or whatever. And so after that scene, Linda and Thomas go to the Savage Reservation, and you see that it's caveman like. But at the same time, it's called the Savage Reservation. You don't need a hint. Who else drinks mezcal? Okay. But anyway, so they go to the Savage Reservation, and they look around, but before they get there, they go to the Savage Reservation Museum, and the curator, who's an alpha, she teaches them how to use everything that they the essentials they say they were going to need, and whatnot. Why was family considered wrong in the society? Family was considered wrong in the society because it caused violence, and not only that, it causes. It was a problem because you couldn't engage everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was selective. You know what I'm saying? And this is a society that had to include everybody, from epsilon to alpha. Family doesn't include everybody. Family is selective, in a sense. If you're smart, come from culture and and you was raised proper. It's selective. You just can't just lie down with everybody or just any old dregs. Hey, what family give one purpose to? Exactly. That's another reason family gives purpose, a sense of meaning, and it gives a different sense of identity than what they were teaching. You know what I'm saying? A different sense of community, because they were connected, with family. They're connected by blood. So that's a different form of community than they were talking about, So they get to the reservation, and they're looking around. Thomas is looking through junk, and he sees a Model T well, I want to say radiator, but whatever. And while he's doing that, Linda is getting scared, and she gets scared. And I thought it was interesting because she runs and she gets scared by three things: aging, family, and pregnancy. Three things she was scared of, and really just blew her dang on mind. You know, she's like, Tommy can't do this thing. Oh, then you got pregnant, and you know this woman is, you know, whooping her kid. They didn't even know what a whooping was. You know, you got this white woman whooping a kid, and you know, she's like, what are they doing? I can't take this. I need some sober, you know. But yeah, and they keep on going on, you know, Thomas wants to it, Thomas hears that from the savages that, you know, there's a Ford Model T down a canyon somewhere, and so him and Linda go to find it, you know what I'm saying. But one thing you can take from the society, unlike the savages, no, these people, they were not conditioned for real hard exercise, because they're you know, they're walking and rucking, and you know, they're tired, whereas the savages looking at them like, man, why y'all tired? And he was like, I can't go no more. Linda's like, I can't go no more. And Tom's like, well, you need an amphetamine. That's another drug that they have, you know, amphetamine, amphetamine. I don't need to tell you. So they popping the amphetamine, and then they're like, let's go. You know. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And you know, so they spend the night, and you know, Thomas and Linda engage that night, but she sets her basically her contraception, well, her birth control to the wrong day. That's how ditzy she is. And you know, the next day, they get scared. The savages scared them. And you know, Thomas uses his it's like a gun, but it's something popper, you know, and it it pops Linda off the cliff, and she falls, you know, and Thomas is pretty much runs and falls out, you know, but they, you know, his people find him and whatever, and they say he's going to need soma decompression therapy after that, and the people don't find Linda because she's at the savage reservation. The savages find her and they bring her back. Would it be to not rely on one's own strength, but to rely on the fake 5-hour energy? I would say so. You know, the whole thing is consumerism. So even what you take for energy is also a consumption. You know what I'm saying? Which is amphetamine. You know what I'm saying? You're not relying on yourself. You're relying on a dang on drug to get energy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they pop it in amphetamine like it's 5-hour energy or crystal. But hey, it is what it is. And Linda is talking about you know, because she said something about that, but she's like, I scored excellent marks in death appreciation. You know, even death is a course. You know what I'm saying? No, you know, to prepare you for, you know, which is crazy, but death appreciation, that's another course that you learn, you know. But they bring her back, and the shamaness asks, you know, which one? Basically, she's asking which one got her pregnant, but Linda doesn't know yet. And she's like, oh no, none of them, you know, don't touch me. Oh, so it was the one you came with. And she was like, yeah, it was Tomikin, you know, and she's clueless. And she was like, well, you know, you're pregnant. shamaness talks to her. And if you look at the shamaness and what she is wearing, I don't have to tell you much. She already got the hair wrap, So I didn't tell you much. But while Linda is pregnant and conceiving, you see another baby that is manufactured and conceived, which is Bernard G. Marks. And basically, in this movie at this time, they go back and forth between Bernard and Linda's baby, John. Um, the shamanist ad says, you have to give your baby a name. This is before he's born, but you have to give your baby a name. The child needs a name, and Linda is so distraught, and she's like, I don't care. No, I don't care. And the shaman, this is how about John? Which that's his name. But she says, the goddess of light cannot touch birth to his lips if you don't give him a name. Here we go with the meaning of why names are important. So, so back and forth, you see, Bernard being manufactured, and basically then it goes into Linda and being in the reservation. But Linda is so distraught at this. She's like, this isn't fair, because she's gonna age and no one will want her, But while Bernard is being basically on the conveyor belt, one of the betas, which Thomas is talking to, because he's trying to get at her or whatever and take her out. She messes up, and the alarm goes off wrong. And there's some, it's basically something. It's an alcohol. Too much. He had too much alcohol or something like that. And there's something to offset it, because Linda had the same problem, and she just pressed the other side of the station, and everything was fine. But this beta doesn't. She's like, I don't care. Yeah, name will link one back to their purpose. Right. Right, Zach. Can't have that. And so, as you can see, babies, in this society, babies are born in bags, balloons, or whatever. I said balloons, but they're born in bags. And John and Bernard are born at the same time. And then you go to Bernard being 6, and he shows continued as I say, social erratic behavior patterns and deviant over intelligence. So even you being smarter than others, everybody is at pretty much the same intelligence level, but he shows deviant intelligence level, but this intrigues Mustafa, and everybody knows that this is an issue, but Mustafa's like, monitor him, but keep it going, because he wants to see something. So as Bernard is still a child, one thing you take from they have sleep talk, and then for each ranking it's different. How good is it to be a gamma? We do this, we do that. Oh, you're this if you're beta. Alpha is this. We all about this and how good it. But Bernard wakes up and he's playing with basically the microphone in his crib, and then gammas come in and they take care of him, and they like and they keep on saying sleep refreshes, sleep revives, sleep refreshes, sleep revives. Is very crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then you see John, and he's at the Savage Reservation, and he has a book, and that book, is black. It looked like it had the letter M on it, but to me, it was a compendium of Shakespeare. And you see, John quoting Shakespeare outside, and he goes inside, and he talks to his mother. He's like, "Mother," and Linda's like, "I don't want you to call me that, John. I told you not to call me that. You call me Linda, not mother." you know. Um, Mustafa has secret deviant thoughts. He was interested in mutations and embryos, and exactly. He was a mad scientist. I'm talking about that. That's why his character was so good. But yeah, he was like, man, I'm gonna see what this is. He was willing to see. He was, but I was a controlled experiment in that retrospect. But but I'm jumping ahead. He doesn't get the book yet. But this is when he's a little kid, and then but Linda is talking to him, and she tells him about the other place, and basically gives John this imagination of the other place. But I find this scene interesting because in our society today, you have that. You have mamas that don't want to be called mamas, or grandmamas that don't want to be called grandmamas. They want you to call them by their name. Like Chris Rock says, if a baby calls his man Pam, mom Pam, and that is grandma Baba, he going to jail. It's the same thing, and so, then you see John. This now he has the compendium of Shakespeare, and he's reading from, and then he meets one of the guy that Linda engages in the Savage Reservation is Pele. If you're a football fan, you know who I'm talking about. But or Pele, I got to put that emphasis on that but yeah, he's introduced there, and then also at the same time you see Bernard, and he's being reprimanded because they say he interrupt the erotics training course. Already you're sexualizing, children at a young age. I don't even tell you what's being done today. Yeah. So, and the basically the alpha counselor that's there, he's like, Bernard, you don't want to play Hunt the Zipper? It's crazy, but you don't want to play Hunt the Zipper? And Bernard's like, no. So he's like, sit over there, Bernard. And he was like, Bernard, do you want to play Hunt the Zipper? He's like, no. And then he electrocutes him. And he was like, Bernard, do you want to play Hunt the Zipper? Bernard's like, no. And electrocutes him again. And then it's like, Bernard, do you want to play Hunt the Zipper? And then he points to the remote, and Bernard's like, yes. What is the law? If you ask me, the law is basically, peace, brother Antonio. The law is like what I said at the start of the John on the Island of Pelham, right? The law, if you ask me, is what I said earlier. All for more means more for all. If it can be made, it can be used, and if it can be used, it can be made. History is bunk. Half the time equals double the year, and war is bad for business. And then you have the values of community identity and and stability. To me, brother Zay, that's the law. You know what I'm saying? And more wants for more things, consumerism. I mean, all of that. That is the law. I'm referring to the island of Dr. Monroe when he was hitting him. Yeah, you can take it there. You can take it there in this instance, but I saw it as a science experiment, with a a controlled silent sprint that you see scientists do. They electrocute a dog, or the Skinner boxes and things of that nature. What Amos Wilson talked about. You are the rat. But yeah, thing Pavlov's dog. All of that. Yeah, like I say, How to Make a Slave. You can't say that. But yeah, and then he goes back off. Bernard goes off. To be with the other children, and then they talk about this rumor of him having his alcohol levels, which I equated to basically alcohol fetal syndrome. You know what I'm saying? And then you go back to the Savage Reservation, and then you see Linda get her ass whooped. Let her get her ass whooped by all the women. Well, a few of the women, or at least I believe the married women at the Savage Reservation, they whooping her ass. And Linda's like, I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't, she's like, I don't understand. I didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So they, the married women in the community, they making fun of Linda, and they making fun of John and whatnot. Because he has no father or whatever. And then Linda says a poem about having sex with more than one man. I know it, but it was too long. But but I like how she said it, because it showed dysfunction, but she was so steep in her own culture, or the culture that she was manufacturing in, that's the norm. And now she's in a different culture, and she's like, I didn't do nothing wrong. According to my culture, I'm supposed to have sex with a bunch of dudes, but I'm in another culture, and now I'm experiencing culture shock because these women are beating me up because I'm doing something out of the norm of their own culture, and I'm bringing, basically waging war with my culture against their culture. Solutions for dysfunctional families. If you are not given the culture, one will be appointed to you. Now, so, as that's happening, and then she's like, I don't want to, and now she can only, have Pele because he's drunk and he don't work. Sounds familiar? And then, John recites Shakespeare to her. Like, if you ask me, he recites Shakespeare like he's quoting, like he's quoting scripture, but he's condemning her for her ways. And then Linda's like, John, can you don't tell me that story. Tell me the happy story. And then he goes, gets the book, Shakespeare, and starts reading from it. And Linda is falling asleep because she's an alcoholic, So, like I say, sounds familiar. Sounds like something we know. But yeah, so we fast forward, and Bernard is grown, and then we are introduced to Lenina Disney, who Bernard likes, and we also see Mustafa monitoring Bernard, and how he is, and he sees him. He sees Bernard as a random variant. That's how he says it, and Zach, for sure. And so Bernard wants to also take Lenina to the Savage Reservation, but he talks to Benito, or Benito, Benito tells, Bernard, you think about asking Lenina, huh? Oh man, she, engaging with Lenina is she's pneumatic, bro. Basically he's telling, man, you can't lose, getting it in with Lenina, but hey, it is what it is, But Bernard does. I don't want to hear that. He's just like, he's different. He's like, no, I didn't add. I don't want to hear that. I don't care. Whatever. And another slogan: work to play to work. And it's suggested to Bernard that he needs to try out the psycho treatments, and the psycho treatments is like VR. And so, Bernard goes and tries out the psycho treatment, and he's acting in this system. He's acting like a gladiator, And then, as he's doing that, he's winning the fight. And then he looks up at the audience, and he sees Benito and Lenina looking at each other like all lovey-dovey and stuff, and then he wants to stop. And then the gammas that are there that are basically running the facility is like, sir, you okay? You know what I'm saying? Peace, Sister Aquia. And he's like, no, I need to think and consider something. And then he leaves. And then the gammas are like, think, consider. Man, how off it is to be an alpha. It's we're lucky to be gammas, Yeah, think and consider, because gammas aren't allowed that, that function. They don't think, they don't consider, but alphas do, So any trait that the other rank have is looked at negative to the other rank, and then they be like, man, I'm glad to be what I am because I don't have to do that. So thinking and considering something, is a luxury. They're great. Gammas are great, but they don't have to do that. And epsilons, they don't do nothing at all. If you look at the epsilons, they look like the children of Uncle Fester in gray hoodie jumpsuits. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, girl. Like, for real. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah. So Bernard is talking to Helmholtz because he thinks about Lenina and wants to be with her and whatnot, and Bernard and Helmholtz, for him, yeah, epsilons are semi-moronic, and Helmholtz, he wants to create new things and jingles and fillies, totally different, than what he's doing. But then Bernard, talks about the free islands of Iceland and Madagascar. It's basically like, jail, but we don't want to go there, we can't, or whatever. But one thing I like about Helmholtz's character, or really just, and Dick Anthony Williams, no matter what he's in, his swag is like over 5,000. and he tells Bernard, if you wanna, just take her. But if you see the subtlety in the next scene, you see Bernard. He got a little pep in his step, like he can talk jive, like, yeah, I just got talking to the master pimp, and I'm ready to talk to the yeah. It's funny, bro. But that's the point, Tracy. They look dead because they're drone like. You know what I'm saying? You don't see them blink. If you pay attention, at least, especially with like the betas and anything, I pay attention to them, man. And they didn't blink. They just, And then you say certain things. That was the subtlety of the acting. Like some person will say something, and then they have the look like does not compute. I don't know what you just said, but it's not registering with me. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm talking about. And So Bernard is looking to talk to Lenina, but he sees Benito come out of her apartment, or what we consider an apartment. You know what I'm saying? Right, brother Antonio. But and then he starts hide. Bernard is hiding. Benito comes out, and behind them is these two gammas, and they say, "Sir, we're with the Solidarity Control. Who are you meeting, sir?" Already you can see that another taboo in this society is being alone. Well, and we're going to get into that. But and he says, "Oh, I'm going to meet my friend." "Oh, really, sir?" And then they follow him, and then he, rings the doorbell, and Lena comes out, and he says, "I want to take you someplace." So he takes us to this secluded place that's quiet and whatnot. And they sit down in this place, and he says, "I come here sometimes by myself." And she looks at him, you know, like, "By yourself? Why would you want to be by yourself, Bernard?" you know. She's like, "I don't understand you sometimes." you know. She said, and being by yourself is unnatural. And Bernard is talking to Lenina, and he tells her that he wants her, and he wants just her. And Lenina is like, "Well, no, I want you too, but not in the she wants everybody." But and then she quotes the line, "But that's it. But Bernard, everyone has everyone, so no one has no one." You see why family was taken out. I mean, if you look at today, everyone don't have everybody. And no one has no. And look, a lot of motherfuckers are single today. But you can have anybody you want, pretty much, and there's no slut shaming. But you're alone, So there's, think if you look at it like that today. And so, after that, Bernard meets Thomas, and for approval or his signature on the to go to the Savage Reservation, because he wants to take Lenina there. And Thomas listens to him like, "This smug ass motherfucker." How this one. Well, let's just see how what happens when he gets back. I got something for him. And basically Thomas is transferring Bernard to Iceland. And so Helmholtz finds out about this because he's digging out best way he's digging out the ebony beta. She has some nice lips. He's digging out the ebony beta, and she's just spilling the tea, right? And she tells him, but I was about to be transferred to Iceland, because of Thomas. And Helmholtz like, "Man, I gotta make a call." And she's like, but I'm not even, I don't even have to go to work yet, because she's really into it. But he's like, I'll call you later. I told you his swag is over 5,000. But yeah, at least in this movie. But any movie, he just looked like he just got that swag. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I thought, never outshine the master. I agree with you, brother Zach. He was killing his job. Yeah, man. He didn't like it and also because of his mannerisms. But Bernard and Lenina go to the Savage Reservation. And it's different because Bernard doesn't want, basically the pack that you get. He just goes straight there. He already shows the deviant thinking. And there, a person, a guy's going through rites of passage for the culture in the Savage Reservation, and he's being whipped. like in a circle. Then he passes out, and then they carry him out, and then that's where they meet John. And John is quoting Shakespeare. He talks in Shakespeare, like mostly in Shakespeare, and he basically said, he can't join the rites of passage. But he's like, man, I could have. But if you look at the rites of passage, he's, the guy was being whipped with the law of the culture, as a rites of passage into manhood, pretty much. And John is like, man, I could have withstood the whips. I wanted to join in the rites of passage. I wanted to be a man of this culture, but basically, because my parents are not from this culture, I couldn't join. And but John asked, as Bernard, are you married to that female? He's like, no. You know what I'm saying? But as John is quote this, like I said, the subtlety of it. John is quoting Shakespeare in the Nina walks past, and you see him look at her like, hey, if it was me, I have to use this. It's like, I'm quoting Shakespeare, and the big booty chick, find his all out nose, just walks past, and I'm quoting Shakespeare, but in my mind and in my verbal communication, I'm like, God damn, look at the ass on her. But I'm still saying how sweet this daughter yonder breaks. It is the east and Juliet is the sun. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, that's why I say it's good at it. Yeah, she was checking him out also. She was, he got the beard, what I'm talking about. He got the flowing blonde hair, what I'm talking about, looking like like Charlie Heston's kid or whatever, from Ten Commandments, LAA's or whatever. But yeah, and so he takes them to meet Linda, and because Linda's the only person. He's like, y'all come to the other place? Well, Linda talks about that all the time. And like, oh, Linda's my mama. And he goes into, oh, so was your father, Bernard asked, was your father Thomas? I'm like, I don't know about that, but my mom calls him Tomikin, but you want to meet Linda? We can go meet Linda right now. So he takes them to meet Linda, and she was like, oh, so good to meet another beta. And they don't have no summer hair. Y'all don't know what it's like. And Linda's aged, and she's not looking cute, and she's just distraught. And she's just so glad. She feel like she did arrested you or something. I can't say that, brother Zach. I don't know. He was, to me, he was always attracted to her. But yeah, yeah, got any soma? Yeah, she wanted that, and so they take John and Linda back to the hotel, and Linda is already tripped out. That she tripped out on the gas or soma, and John's like, she's gonna be here. She's like, oh, and Bernard's like, oh yeah. She's slowly tripping. Don't worry about that. And then Lenina goes to take a shower or whatever, and Bernard is showing basically the luxuries that they have in this hotel, and then they go, and then you see he goes to the kitchen, and he shows the artificial food, the fake food. Message. I don't need to tell you. You already know. 1 second. What would you say John's culture was? Did he have one? He wasn't a part of the savage culture, nor was he part of his mother culture. John, you could say, was stuck in limbo, but at the same time, John's culture that he had always known was the culture of the other place, because that was the reason why he wasn't accepted, but he knew of it, but he wasn't a part of it, but he grew up on the mystique and the imagination of it. You know what I'm talking about, Sister Tracy? I mean, because his mother always told him about how great this place was. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't be a part of he couldn't be a part of the savage reservation culture, but there was still a chance that he could be a part of the other place that his mom talked about. And he knew of some things that culture had, but not everything. You know, was the Alpha Nation John? I would say so. He was, like she said, what your dad is, you are. So if his dad is an alpha, he's an alpha. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's in his blood. You know, culture is passed through the mother, but there were different. They were disconnected from the source. Exactly, Sister Deirdre. There was an interesting overlap between John and Bernard in the way they never truly identified with the culture they were given, but fully conceptualized that they what they belong for. Exactly, because that's the same. You know, that's why they're in the hotel. You know, John asked, why is Bernard unhappy? You know what I'm saying? And Bernard's like, well, I didn't fit in this place, you know what I'm saying? And John's like, but that's the thing, that's the same like me. I don't fit in, in the savage reservation either. I couldn't, and they see that in each other, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. And so Bernard has to go and talk to his force ship about giving them permission to go back to the other place. And John goes up to where Lenina is, and he starts quoting Romeo and Juliet, and then he's filled out her lips and whatnot, and then he puts his hands like a kiss, but and whatnot, because he likes Latina. he won't. We know what he won't, but and he's doing it smoothly with Shakespeare. Why that chick is some asleep, but yeah, and so as Bernard is talking to his force ship Mustafa, they're confirming the identity of Linda and whatnot, and that she had a baby, due genetic, she birthed him, but the DNA comes back that it's Thomas is the father, and it's Ratchet the female alpha, but Mustafa gives okay, and he's like, oh, this is gonna be fun. He already, it's like, thank you, Bernard, because he got another control variation into the society, which is John, and now he's like, oh, this is gonna be good. And basically that's the end of part one. So yeah, I'm talking about both John and Bernard were results of Mr. Tom, both products of his indulgence. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Brother Cruz, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because if he didn't talk to that chick, trying to get that, trying to get that, yeah. His force ship was a first-rate social engineer and eugenicist. He was. That's what I'm saying. He was a mad scientist, and he liked being, he liked being what he was. You know what I'm saying? And he, like I say, Ron O'Neal was good at it, babe. I mean, shoot. I mean, he gives a good performance in that, man. Something different from Superfly, but yeah, he gives a great performance, and like I say, this is why I love the acting in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Because of the subtleties and the delivery that these people give out. You know what I'm saying? That's they don't sort of teach that today. You know what I'm talking about? You don't get that subtlety, of a thespian. Let's just say that, like a thespian. But but you see the subtleties in this movie delivered by each actor in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So I this is one reason why I enjoy this film and whatnot, and like I say, it's superior. You know what I'm saying? To all the remakes that has gone through. I guess not now, but when I decide to want to see the Brave New World that came out this year, at least the only season that came out, I'll be able to compare. But I already know it's not going to be what I probably want it to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like The Good Doctor. I'll take the Korean version over the American one any day. For real. I'll take the Korean version over it any day. So yeah. But this was a good film. Part one was good. I enjoyed it. And I like the 1980 version because you still have to use your imagination for some things, because everything, it's not technology and advanced, computers and everything. So some things you still got to use your imagination. That's even cool, and it tells you what what we probably do away with imagination in movies. You know what I'm saying? Where where it's not like I say, it's not a moving picture. It's like virtual reality or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? And whatever. But yeah, this is like I say, I like it. I like to add this. Like Mustafa's my favorite character because just what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's totally philosophical. He's totally cool. You know what I'm saying? Hamo's the other one just because he got it. You know what I'm talking about? He got that swag. You know what I'm saying? And you know he pimping. But yeah, and then Hamo's. I'm so used to seeing these people old, and to see them young, it's like, Dick Anthony Williams got 5'10", 5'10" women in there. He just got the swag, man. I mean, like she talks about, the 70s, and look at him, man. He just looks like, man, he looks pimping, man. I tell you, but yeah. So that's A Brave New World part one. We're gonna get into part two next week. Yeah, movies are supported by camera angles, lighting, etc. Back then, actors carry the story. Exactly. To me, because like for me, you gotta have great acting, cinematography. But now, because everything is technology, camera angles and stuff, you don't really have actors that really carry, the show. Well, exactly, it was made for TV, so no bill. It was BBC, and sometimes BBC come out with some good shows. Peaky Blinders. Need I say more? Peaky Blind. I think I think Last Kingdom comes on BBC as well. But yeah, Peaky Blinders, Downtown Abbey. I have never watched Downtown Abbey, but yeah. Peaky Blind, cheap though. Peaky Blinders is my stuff. But yeah, BBC come out with some good television shows if you watch it. Apparently, I don't watch everything, but they come up with some good stuff. I watch it. But yeah, so like I said, we do part two next week. And we'll get into, Bernard and John, and see what happens with with them, and see. But like you, I'll just by order of the Peaky fucking Blinders, Like I say, we oh man, love that show, man. I can't wait for the next season. You know there's what coming. You know what I'm talking about. And like I say, even that's history, because the Peaky Blinders was an actual. It's about the gangs of London. You know what I'm saying? Like I would tell. I told the bros this, but there's a restaurant, with a couple of restaurants downtown in Chicago, and they call Elephant and Castle. And if you don't know, Elephant and Castle were actually an English gang during the time of the Peaky Blinders. They were called Elephant and Castle. And here I am, I walk downtown, I see this restaurant all the time, 1 or 2 restaurants downtown all the time. And then I was like, oh, so that's where they probably got that name from. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love my period TV shows, but so as we have already digressed and went on into a Peaky Blinders and who knows what else. But that's all we have for you today, on this adventure, on this ride. And I will that y'all command your day, and all y'all homesteads are healthy and strong, you know what I'm talking about. And just as you watch this, you watch these movies, just look at this is what makes great literary works and movies timeless, because you can still see their relevance today. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Brave New World was made in the 30s. It's made in the 30s. And it's still, you can still get something out of it. This movie was made in the 80s. Some of us weren't even born. Some of us were born, but some of us weren't even born when this movie came out, and it's still relevant. The acting's still good. Yeah, the quality is bad, compared to today's standards, but it's still, the acting is still quality. It's still quality work. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you find with some of these movies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, Gone with the Wind. That's gonna be timeless. Ain't As God is my witness, I'll never go hungry again. Because they had good acting in it. You know what I'm talking about? But I mean, 10 Commandments. Made me love you or Brenda like a muck, man. That boss acting, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, but yeah, you take from this movie and see. I know, Chief, they ain't allowed no more, and it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? You see these young, these young guys, and this is the guy that made Superfly famous. Like I say, we can go into the dang on soundtrack, because the soundtrack is the key to the movie. I swear. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because I'm always gonna have a soft spot. Look, I step to Give Me Your Love, so I know every time I ride in it, man, I ride around and get it. I play that song, and I'm like, yeah, you can't help but feel it. But it's also because of the character. People want to be Ron O'Neal. They want the mustache. They want the false. But yeah, the quality. So these people ain't alive no more. But look at the work. Look at the work. Yeah, ready for Hollywood. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man. So that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Let me get done, because I'm rambling talking about other things. So yeah, get ready for part 2. Because we gonna hit it. Also, thank you, Sister Deirdre, for last week. You did a phenomenal job with Daughters of Dust. And honestly, because it was named Daughters of Dust, I felt like a woman should have done it anyway. Even though I like the film, and I could say a lot, but it's good to get a woman's perspective on certain things. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, you did a great job. So give thanks and give thanks everybody, and thank you for coming out and enjoying my crazy ass. and yo, I will see y'all, Sabbath and next week, and we gonna get it in like always. We gonna make the good out of evil. We gonna make the good out of evil. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah. So peace, everybody. See you.